God will deliver us from chaos and confusion. And so there is power in prayer. And when the Ninevites prayed, God turned back the winds of judgment. God will turn back the winds of judgment in our land when people of faith begin to sigh and cry out to God. You get a lot more accomplished when you demonstrate kindness. And there's a principle in Ephesians 5 that says, speak the truth in love.
In love.
You know, that's a great principle for communicating with people. Speak the truth in love. When we learn to see the image of God in every person we meet, we will begin to speak to that individual in love. Speak the truth in love.
Well, Barry, not only do I see the image of God in you, as I talk with you and I look at what you do, I also see the fruit of the Spirit in you, the love, the joy, the peace, the patience, the kindness, and you're modeling that. So thank you for being an example for the rest of us during this very stressful, chaotic time. I have one more question for you, and that is, we know that we need to pray. This whole event that we're a part of tonight, Think, Pray, Vote, prayer is critical. What should we be praying for, in your view? Do I pray for one person to win the election and that the other guy would just fall off the map? Do I pray for the people to wake up and turn their hearts to the Lord, to humble themselves and seek God? What's the best thing for us to be praying for?
Well, the Bible tells us in 2 Chronicles 7:14 that we should humble ourselves and pray and seek God's face and turn from evil, and that he would hear our prayers, forgive our sins, and heal our land. So I think we need to pray for healing in our land, because God essentially says that is one of the things that he wants us to do. I think it's 1 Timothy chapter 2 that tells us we should pray for those in authority. We need to remember that government is God's idea. You read Romans 13:1-7. Government is designed to hold in check evil.
That's right.
Augustine, one of the great early church fathers, talked about the fact that we would have chaos without the control of government. And Romans 13 also says that. And then again, back to 1 Timothy 2, it says that we may live quiet and peaceful lives. So we ought to pray for order, and we ought to pray for a peace in our world.
Yes.
We ought to pray for righteousness in our nation.
Yep.
Proverbs 14:34 says, righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. I say sin is an equal opportunity destroyer. And so these are things, as you read the scriptures and pray the scriptures, by the way, that is, you begin to pray for the things that God says he wants in a nation and in a land. When challenging times come, as the folk did in Nineveh, we need to fast and pray that God will deliver us from chaos and confusion. And so there is power in prayer. And when the Ninevites prayed, God turned back the winds of judgment. God will turn back the winds of judgment in our land when people of faith begin to sigh and cry out to God. Remember Abraham in the book of Genesis. He prayed for Sodom and Gomorrah and literally negotiated with God and had him down to 10. For the sake of 10, God said, I will spare Sodom and Gomorrah. Well, Abraham should have continued to negotiate, but he probably figured Lot's in town. He's probably given Bible studies. His wife is a believer. His daughters are a believer. If he's had any thing going for himself with the time he spent in Sodom and Gomorrah, that they've got to be 10. And yet, this was such an evil place that there weren't even 10 righteous people. But it reminds us, Kirk, that the intercession of God's people can make a difference.
Barry, thank you so much. I love talking with you. You inspire me. God bless you. And I pray for his His face to continue to shine upon you there in the Senate.